The warm July sun had just begun to set over the quiet town of Humboldt, Tennessee, casting long shadows across the neatly trimmed lawns of suburban homes. It was July 15th, 2024, a day that would forever change the lives of two families and send shockwaves through the community. 8-year-old Demaria Hollingsworth, a bright-eyed girl with an infectious smile, had been eagerly looking forward to her summer visit to her grandmother's house. It was a chance to spend time with her 12-year-old cousin from South Carolina, whom she adored. The two girls had always been close, almost inseparable during their visits. Demaria was known for her hard work and sweet demeanor at Cockrill Elementary in Nashville, where she had been a student since pre-K. Her principal, Casey Campbell, would later describe her as a beloved student cherished by everyone who knew her. As night fell on that fateful Monday, Demaria climbed into the top bunk of the bed she shared with her cousin, unaware that it would be her last. The girls had spent the day playing together, but a seemingly trivial argument over an iPhone they had been sharing cast a shadow over their usually harmonious relationship. In the early hours of July 16th, while the rest of the house slept, a tragedy unfolded in the dimly lit bedroom. Security cameras, installed for the family's safety, would later reveal the horrifying sequence of events that took place. The 12-year-old cousin, whose name has been withheld due to her age, was seen approaching the bunk bed. In a moment that would haunt investigators for years to come, she used the bedding to smother Demaria as she slept. The younger girl struggled, fighting for her life, but her efforts were in vain. What happened next was equally chilling. With a composure that belied her age, the 12-year-old cleaned up the scene and repositioned Demaria's body, making it appear as though she was still peacefully asleep. The following morning, the family awoke to a nightmare. Demaria was found unresponsive in her bed. Frantic calls to emergency services echoed through the house, but it was too late. Demaria Hollingsworth, a child full of promise and joy, was gone. Initially, the cause of Demaria's death was unclear. It wasn't until 2 days later, on July 18th, that a tip led investigators to review the security footage. What they saw left even seasoned detectives shaken. Detective Sarah Johnson of the Humboldt Police Department recalled the moment they viewed the footage. "In all my years on the force, I've never seen anything like it," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The calculated nature of the act, performed by someone so young, it's beyond comprehension." As news of the tragedy spread, the community rallied around Demaria's family. Her mother, Rihanna Smith, was devastated. "The pain I'm feeling is unbearable," she wrote in a heart-wrenching social media post. "I have to now live life without her in this crazy world. But I have another child who's depending on me, and I have to be strong for my baby because she lost her big sister too." On July 20th, the Humboldt Police Department filed a petition of delinquency against the 12-year-old, charging her with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. The severity of the charges sent shockwaves through the legal community. District Attorney Frederick Agee, known for his tough stance on violent crime, was visibly shaken when he addressed the press on July 21st. "I consider this to be one of the most disturbing violent acts committed by either an adult or juvenile that my office has prosecuted," he stated, his usual composure cracking under the weight of the case. The question on everyone's mind was why? How could a dispute over an iPhone lead to such a horrific act? Investigators delved into the girls' relationship, interviewing family members and friends. They discovered that while the cousins had always been close, there had been growing tension during this visit. As the investigation progressed, the community grappled with the implications of the crime. On July 22nd, Cockrill Elementary held a memorial service for Demaria. Principal Campbell spoke of her bright smile and kind heart, while classmates shared tearful memories of their friend. Meanwhile, the legal process was moving forward at an unprecedented pace. On July 23rd, AG announced his intention to petition juvenile judge Mark Johnson to transfer the case to circuit court, allowing the 12-year-old to be tried as an adult. Due to the horrendous nature of this crime, AG explained, and under Tennessee law, the juvenile court loses jurisdiction after a juvenile turns 19. Therefore, the juvenile would be free from any further detention, supervision, or court-ordered mental health treatment. Our office is seeking to ensure that the severity of this crime is appropriately addressed. As July turned to August, the Humboldt community struggled to come to terms with the tragedy. A memorial with balloons in Demaria's favorite colors, along with her cherished stuffed animals and nail polish bottles, grew in front of her grandmother's home. It became a place of pilgrimage for those seeking to pay their respects and grapple with the senseless loss of a young life. The investigation continued, with detectives working tirelessly to build a comprehensive case. They pored over school records, interviewed teachers and classmates, and consulted with child psychologists to understand the mindset that could lead to such an act. On August 2nd, Detective Johnson held a press conference to provide an update on the investigation. "We are leaving no stone unturned," she assured the public. "Our team is working around the clock to ensure that justice is served for Demaria and her family." As the summer wore on, the legal proceedings continued to unfold. The question of whether the 12-year-old would be tried as an adult loomed large over the case. Legal experts debated the precedent it would set, while the community remained divided on the appropriate course of action. Throughout it all, Demaria's family clung to their memories of the vibrant 8-year-old who had touched so many lives in her short time. Rihanna Smith, showing remarkable strength, became an advocate for increased mental health support for young people. "If we can prevent even one family from going through what we've endured," she said at a community meeting on August 15th, "then Demaria's legacy will live on." As summer faded into fall, the case continued to captivate the nation. It raised difficult questions about youth violence, family dynamics, and the justice system's approach to juvenile offenders. Experts in child psychology, criminal justice, and sociology weighed in, offering various perspectives on how society could prevent such tragedies in the future. The story of Demaria Hollingsworth and her cousin served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the complex challenges facing young people in the digital age. It was a tragedy that would be remembered for years to come, not just in Humboldt, but across the country. As the legal proceedings continued, with a trial date yet to be set, the community of Humboldt began the long process of healing. They remembered Demaria not for the tragic circumstances of her death, but for the joy she brought to those around her during her short life. In the end, it was her smile, her kindness, and her potential that they chose to honor, even as they grappled with the darkness that had taken her away.